I got a summer URG to study women objectifying women.
Paris to study Gothic architecture.
Low-income youth in Bolivia.
Economic opportunities for refugees in camps in Ethiopia.
Physical theater in Chicago.
Munich, Germany.
Log concave probability measures.
The development of the artistic and creative voice.
To study the music dual degree program at Northwestern University.
Not only was I able to combine all my interests, Spanish, Latin America, nonprofits, which is what I'm hoping to go into, impact assessment, and my learning and organizational change training all in one because it was a project I designed, but I was able to do that for free and not have to worry about the financial burdens, which if it hadn't been for the grant, I absolutely would not have been able to afford it. It's free money to do what you love and you can design it. It's hard work, planning is always the hard work, but it's absolutely worth it.
I've done research in economic opportunities for refugees and long-term encampments in Ethiopia. I flew to Addis, stayed on people's couches, got my government permission and went out to the camps on the northern and western borders of Ethiopia, basically embedded in the UNHCR, in order to interview refugees about the kind of programming they were receiving, the aid, the economic development strategies that were going on, and how they were coping with camp life.
I kind of had this research question in the back of my head, so I just went into her one day and I was like, you know, I've got some ideas for research, can we talk about it? And then within a couple of days we had this rough kind of plan outlined, and I started doing reading and research, and the process of crafting the grant proposal actually focused it a lot because I realized I needed to bring it in and figure out exactly which parts of that question I wanted to answer. The URG is money to make your dreams come true. It's a process that, like, it's yours. You come up with the idea, you write the grant proposal, you get the data, you analyze the data, and I've had incredible mentors along the way. But at the same time, it's a project that feels very much like I thought of this.
So as a sophomore, I applied for the undergraduate research grant for the summer, and I really wasn't, like, it was the first time I ever wrote a grant, and just like going through the whole process of like writing and rewriting, and I went to all the workshops and everything. I thought it was a really good experience.
It was very terrifying and daunting, the task of trying to make something coherent out of all these ideas I had. And after 5 meetings or so of revisions and meeting with my faculty sponsor, I finally had a product that made sense and was something I was excited about, and I got the grant. Yes, the proposal creation was a lot on top of like coursework and all of that, but that's a really good skill to have later on. Like right now, it's a very important skill for me to have as I apply for different jobs. It's helpful for me to say I know how to write a grant proposal. But more importantly, it gives you 8 weeks to do one thing, which is something that Northwestern students don't do, which is something I had never done.
I got a summer undergraduate research grant, and I traveled to Columbia University to examine the archives of Meyer Shapiro, who's one of the greatest art historians of the 20th century, and is an incredibly interdisciplinary figure who we're only still understanding the ramifications of his research and his attention to different time periods and different methodologies for understanding art history.
Based on everything I learned this summer, I ended up developing my own sound score. I did my own costume design, set and lighting design, and did a very from the ground up creation of this piece. And it ended up being a duet, and it was a wonderful experience. I think one of the pieces I was most proud about, but also one of the pieces that I felt the most grounded in my own artistry. And I think so much of that development within myself came from this summer URG.